1 second. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that really quickly. 3 units are $69 a month, so they move from 49 to 69. They've added a new category of 5. I'm going to have to mute someone here. They've added a new category of 5, which is going to be $99 a month for 5, and then 8 will be $129 a month. The Go Plus service will not be increasing in price. It will remain at $19 per month per unit the purchaser chooses to activate the Go unit on. So that's good news. So it's not going to change. Now, these prices are going to do a lot of good things for our business for obvious reasons. Volumes will be higher, and when you're trying to rank, volumes are important. What's been happening for the last, say, 2 months with the announcement of the Go Plus and the free week that people were entitled to, from the time they activate one of their units, when they receive them in the mail, they activate a unit. Doesn't matter if they waited a month from the day they received them in the mail to activate it. Whenever one of however many they bought has been activated, that's when that 7-day free Go Plus trial begins, just so you're clear on that. And but what's happening is, and I've expressed this openly to everyone on my team, I was never a fan of that, because in my opinion, it lost the sale when someone was ready to buy. And now they're waiting, and they may not get around to it because their life goes on. Then they're busy. Then they don't upgrade. Then they're not getting the full value of the product that they really were wanting when they first bought. And then they start using the basic, and it's not what they thought it was, because it's not. It's the Go Plus that we promote aggressively. It is incumbent upon us, in my opinion, to communicate that strongly to new people so they understand this is what we're marketing. It's not the notification that goes to a random website. That's what anyone else in this space is doing. That's what they're all doing. So how do we differentiate? The Plus. So that's all I talk about. But it made it difficult when you couldn't close the sale on it. You had to wait for them to get it, then order it, then use it, then, okay, fine. So what they're going to do, and I don't know the date on this, but highly likely they're going to announce it through this week and leading up to the price change on the 19th, by the way, of January, the price change will take effect officially, that they're going to bundle and make a discount for those who purchase any of the Go Basic services and add the Go Plus to it at the time of the purchase. So let me do a New Year's applause for that executive decision. I'm happy for that, because that's in my opinion, a big deal. It allows us now to go faster, satisfy the customer when they want it, get them using it immediately, and the volumes are better, commissions are better. It's just better around, and for the company. So when you're trying to build a business and you can't complete a sale, that's, in my opinion, and that's the last time I'll say that, counterproductive. So at least you have the option. Doesn't mean you have to. And I'm sure they're going to modify this as they go. In other words, they'll test and go, okay, well, here's it's $69 for 3. But if you buy 3 right now and get the Go Plus on, say, all 3 units, you'll pay this much. If you get 2, it'll be this much. If you get just 1, there'll be no discount. It's going to be something like that, right? So you'll understand that's why. And it may include some sort of freebie. I'm not sure how they're going to handle that. I don't have any information on how they're going to transition, just drop it perhaps. Or what I'd like to see is if you buy, say, 5 and you upgrade to 3 Plus, 3 Go Pluses, or you buy 3 and upgrade all 3 to the Plus, that you give someone a free week on all 3 of the units on top of their purchase. They don't have to wait for the free week. It just gets added, so they get 5 weeks before they're billed again. That's what I do. I'm not the company, but I know they'll have ways that they're going to test it. So I just wanted everyone to be clear on the price increases and that the Go Plus won't go up. And then the next point is there's a whole pile of stuff that they're releasing in Atlanta, some of which will be leaked before the price change. We'll hear about it over the next 2 weeks before the price change. There's some, I'll just let them explain it. I know a couple things, but I'll let them do it because they like to. And so I'll just let them share it. And they're exciting. It's going to make our product and what we're offering untouchable in this space for certain. No one in the proximity marketing space will be able to compete with the range, hint, hint, of what we'll have. And they won't be able to compete on other levels because we're integrating other things into the Plus, like the Go Social. which has been hinted at, and because I saw it in Miami, but now it'll be highly likely announced, more than likely in Atlanta, where there'll be, and I'm not sure which ones, and I'm not sure the date that they roll those out, but there'll be more than just Facebook integration, which is great, but obviously it's better if you get the top social media channels shareable, like inside a GoAd or a GoPlus, right? Be very cool. If you do Twitter, if you could do, I mean, Instagram's the hot thing. It really is. Right now it's Instagram. I know people with huge Instagram followings, and that's where the young people have moved from Facebook to Instagram. It's really, interestingly enough, the demographics of Facebook is actually switched. It's about 45 to 70 now. That's the bulk of the users. It's not kids. So that's interesting. So, which is good for us because our business is, going to cater to more people that have small businesses, right? So it's really good for those things, and for Plus owners. I'm not sure how those will be treated. In other words, I'll be specific. I'm not sure how, when they integrate other social media channels into this, how that will be priced, if at all. In other words, they might just leave it alone and say that's the Go Social, or it might be its own specific, like we have the Go Basic, the Go Plus, and the Go Social. It may be that. I can't speak to it. That's their decision, and we'll find out. They put it this way: they won't pull something from the Plus. They won't dumb it down. It'll stay as good as it is. They just may choose to have another category, which is an add-on. They may choose that. I don't know, or they might just throw it all into the Plus. We'll know in probably 3.5 long weeks, I guess, prior to the event. And then they also are going to announce something that they claim is a first in this industry. That's never been done. No one's doing it. They won't be able to do it, which is nice, but they definitely haven't been doing it or tried it. So we'll have a much bigger range. I'll let them tell you the number, and we'll have things that no one else can offer. So no one can come up to us in the future and say, oh, beacons, yeah, I can get those on Amazon, or I can get those from such and such. Go ahead. No, for one is no, you can't. Yes, you can go buy a beacon from another company, but no, you cannot purchase one that has a range like this, or does, this, and this. And it's going to really differentiate us completely in the space. And that's important going into this year. So, and again, I'm going to stay on this whole track we're on. They have 2018 and all the releases and all the countries, because they're going into India, and everything they're going to do for 2018 already slated. It's already done. Like, they literally know when they're doing this all the way through 2018. That lets you know something. It lets you know that they're very clear on the market, where they want to be, but how aggressive they are at making sure they're there and doing it in advance. So how could you go so far out on a young company that's been in existence, from our experience, for less time than they're projecting this next year, right? How could you go so far and know? You'd have to have a lot of things organized to be that aggressive, and to have specific scheduled releases, and that you'd have to have a lot of your ducks in a row. Number one, we talked about at the start of this whole my monologue here, is just to know you'd have to have customer support at the highest level. You'd have to, and you'd have to have the ability to deliver the product in a time frame that your average consumer would come to expect. I'm not saying it has to be there in a day, but it can't be 3 weeks, right? And they know that. So on that note, they are totally overstaffed, which I'm repeating, but they're going to be making their own units. For those of you who aren't aware of that, they will be, and have, now that it's kind of out, designing their own devices, not manufactured and shipped to distribution centers. Manufactured by them, stocked in their own distribution outlets, with enough inventory to handle, in the president's words, 90 days of orders in advance. So that's pretty decent. That's like saying no matter how aggressive the orders go, they'll have 90 days worth of inventory ahead of that. That's exciting. When they are really prepared to roll this up. They're doing the things that you should do. And I got to give them credit. They're doing it pretty fast for a small company. They really are. I'm not saying everything's perfect. It hasn't been, but they're moving fast. So their goal is to deliver, get the shipping in 2 to 5 business days in North America, maybe 7 to 10 international. That's what, and by the way, on that note, I can say, because I had something shipped to me, on the 28th, it left the warehouse in New Hampshire. What's the date today? We're at the 3rd. And it got dropped off on 45th Avenue in Playa del Carmen at the UPS thing. That's including New Year's break. That's pretty good. So 28th is what day? I'm just going back. 28th, 29th, then we had 30th, 31st was a weekend. So I had 2 business days, holiday Monday, then Tuesday, Wednesday. So 5 business days from the US to Mexico to Playa del Carmen. I can't complain because nothing gets here this fast. I can tell you because I live here. It does not. 2 weeks is an absolute bonus. If something comes to 2 weeks, everyone's, jumping in the streets. It's just they don't expect it. So that's just my experience. Will it happen all the time? I don't know. But I know in North America, people will get them they'll get them in 3 days. They'll get them in 2 to 3 days because if they order at 10 a.m., it goes up the same day, later in the day. And the next day it'll be shipped. It's in process the following day. It's a courier. It doesn't take a week for a courier. If it's on the courier truck, flight, delivery to the door, right? It's 3 days. That'll be standard. That's exciting. So it's really good news for us going forward and for the company. It means we can grow aggressively. It means our volumes are definitely going to be higher. And to me, that's the biggest part. I actually like being able to promote something that will cut off. I think is just a good sales strategy. It is online and it is offline. So what that means for all of us here is it's the 3rd and the 19th. That's what, 15, 16 days? Well, let's say it's 2 weeks. We have 2 weeks to promote aggressively and let anyone be aware. And I told somebody today the same thing. And he goes, okay, well, I'll just order that in the plus at the same time. And I even let them know. So they just said, no, I'll just buy it all because I don't want to risk it being late. As soon as someone knows for real there's a cutoff, it changes things. If you just say, I'm not sure, well, that's what we've been doing. And it doesn't have the same urgency because, yeah, well, I've seen this 50% off for the last 2 months. It loses its ability to convert. Not anymore. We have 2 weeks. So that's good news. So if you have anyone hedging, people thinking about buying 8, it's going to cost them the same money for 5. So it's going to convert for us. What I'm saying is if you got a promotion you want to hit, and I know, Annie, you're close. You're like an edge, and so is Linda. I know. We just got her all her legs organized. Both of you guys are like right there. I've like piles of people who are like right on the edge of associate or senior associate. They're like hanging there. This should help you do it. Even the push. Let's say, for example, that your push you're going to do in 2 weeks, and you get 2 weeks. That's probably enough. Well, it is for both of you. I know that. And let's say it's not. It didn't work. They didn't buy, and they waited. It's not going to hurt you because the volume went up. So either way, the push is going to help you either do it before the date or after the date, because if someone just can't do it because they don't get paid, whatever the reason, the volumes are going to be higher. So the energy you put out now, no matter what, is going to have you good through January. So any questions, comments, thoughts, anything you want to say about that? I know I said a lot, so stop for a breath. Everyone's good. Just laid it out. I think it's just so smooth. They just take it in, and by tomorrow we all make 5 sales each. It's like, whoo, it's a miracle. I had a new guy come on, and he came on, got his first affiliate on the 2nd. I thought, great, the first official day, he's actually got an affiliate already. It was great. It's nice to see a guy just boom and go. And again, this is something that I say often, and I will continue to say often. Even though I'm working with them, I repeat, I send Facebook messages. You can't control what someone's going to do. And I'm comfortable with the business. I understand the dynamics. I know how to build. But certain people will do it. I can only provide them the information, and I do. And I'll follow up, and I'll leave a Facebook message and an email, and that's it. And I'll leave it for 3 days. If no one's coming this way toward me, with me reaching out, then I pull back on my communication, because I'm looking for people like me who just went after it. I just went and figured it out. But I asked questions. I watched videos and I plugged in, right? So I'm saying that because some people you'll bring this business, they think they're going to conquer it, and they just disappear. It's just life, right? And that's going to happen this year. But I can tell you what, one thing that's not going to happen is people bailing because they didn't get their product, or canceling because their customer service wasn't good, or they couldn't bill their card. All those issues, which are all avoidable, had nothing to do with us, will not be issues. That's a huge deal. Right now, we don't realize some people, but it's going to be a huge difference on attrition. because attrition happened from errors of processing, from people, frustration, obviously. I'm just being candid. It's just real, right? All that's going to change. So I did want to talk about tonight, this is really the main purpose of this call, was because it's the start of the year, is Michael just kind of dropped off too. That people have their goals. Whether you want to share them with me or others is up to you. I have mine, and who here has written down goals? You don't have to tell me what they are, but who has written down goals? Aha. Now, I can tell you, and you guys may know this study, but it's not, I'm not even going to that study. Let's just say that writing them takes them from your brain, and especially and not typewriter. There's a different set of nerves that fire off when we are physically translating our thoughts into written form, because it's a different thing than a digital, which is more left brain. When you write, it accesses right brain, not just left brain, which is important, because it taps your full body and your full being. It makes you think and feel about what you're doing, because it takes more time and you're looking at it. It's one step towards the manifestation. Some people trivialize this. I disagree. And I also would suggest that you have some sort of vision board, something that inspires you to look at. If you don't have anything that inspires you, it's easy to get into places where we're not resourceful and not inspired. We're human beings. I don't care who we are. Me, I'm not the best in the world, but I'm pretty good at maintaining my state. There's days where I go, I haven't looked at anything good in 12 hours. Like, you just get working, or you just get saturated with the things you got to do. And you, in my opinion, kind of lose track of why am I doing this? And sadly, some people design their lives that way. Like decades will go by with this unconscious life, that I'd call it, right? Where they're not conscious of what they're actually creating. So I learned a process years ago when I did, personal development training in Australia, and half my life, it's my background, is I called it the powerhouse goal setting formula. And so whether you guys share your goals or not relevant to me, it's relevant to you. Share them with yourself. And I'm just going to give you this strategy I learned. One is, for goals to be real, they can't just be abstractions. People write down, they put dates, and they get all excited in the start of a new year, but they're in, say, an inflated state, which is fine. It gets them to write down a goal. But they haven't measured them. Goals are like dreams with a deadline. They have a frame. It's like saying, I just want this to happen. Well, that's just out there. That'd be nice if this happened. Well, the brain has no target. The brain has what's called a reticular activating system, and that literally goes left and right, left and right. It's like a missile. Most people aren't aware that a missile never goes straight. It's always off target. The only time it's on target is when it hits it, which is fascinating to me. It's just like our arm. My arm, when I reached to this cup and grab it, it never went straight. It constantly went left, right, all the way to the cup. That's the way our brain works. It's looking for targets. When we don't have one, it'll find them. It'll find new ones, usually in the form of problems, because that's the brain's desires to create questions to answer them. And go answer them and keep doing it. Instead of, here's my target. I don't care if you go left, right. That's part of life. But I'm going to have a destination. There is a deadline. There is a target. And in my opinion, you are far better off setting lofty goals with a deadline that you don't hit than not setting them at all and hitting those. You can never, I think that's kind of logical. So number one is you have to be clear. And two is it has to be multi-sensory. This is the flaw of all goal setting that I see. It's left brain. They use it as a daytime or a procedural thing, which takes it out of the emotional body, which is why you set a goal, because you're trying to get a feeling. The reason I want a goal is because I'm going to feel better than having it. If I didn't, I wouldn't bother doing it. That's exactly why people don't achieve their goals, because they're not emotionally connected, number one, or committed, because they can't commit to something they're not emotionally connected to. Yeah, like for example, let's say I had a date with a girl. I sort of liked her. I went out once. It was nice to see her, and I could call her Friday or Saturday. It doesn't really matter. Friday rolls by, I don't call her. Saturday, my buddy calls me. I get distracted. I go with my buddy. I wasn't emotionally connected or committed to that. Obviously, if I was, I absolutely would say, no, dudes, I can't go out. I'm going to be going out with them. And we are always driven by our most emotionally intense state. Always. I don't care if that's a good or a bad one. We are going to do what's the most emotionally intense in the moment, whether that's fear, sadness, bliss, joy, whatever it is, that's the one we're going to do. So if we don't have a clear destination in mind, our brain will just find something. And that's not a good way to design a life, in my opinion. You want to have at least somewhat of a guideline. I don't say it has to be at 2 o'clock on the 29th, but the first quarter of 2018, the first half, that kind of thing. So you have a target and make it multi-sensory. And I will honestly tell you, for me, the biggest change in my understanding of me setting goals and creating my own life, the biggest thing, and to me, the most challenging one of all, is thinking from the end. You have to learn to not always look forward to a thing that's out in the distant future. You have to jump to the future and look backwards toward today, which is the biggest challenge. In other words, I want to go to the time, for example, I want to be director. I will publicly, but that's my goal this year. I want to be director. And some people may say that's not big enough thinking. Some people will say it's too big. It doesn't matter. I know what's right for me. So that's why I'm here. I want to be director. I know how many people I want to have in my organization. And I get inside the feeling of what it'll be like to be there. I feel it. I imagine it. I imagine doing these calls with hundreds of people on them. I imagine the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That is the key that is it. And it's a challenge because most of us think from here and we look forward, which means we're dissociated. I really want to stress this because someone when I look back on my life, misguided me in a personal growth context in my 20s, cost me a lot of time by one poorly crafted distinction, was teaching, like many do, to see yourself the way you want to live. That's fine initially. You can see yourself experiencing certain things if it motivates you. And that's me. You can see yourself like you're in a movie. That's fine. But the problem with seeing it distant is you're not inside it. So your body isn't feeling the feelings like they're happening to you now. It's always some distant thing. There's two schools of thought. One says you want to keep it removed. That's what keeps you motivated to go get it because you don't have it. I disagree massively. What you want to do is step in the feelings of what it's going to be like and live inside that feeling every day while you make calls, while you're out doing appointments, while you're building. You want to get the feeling now so your unconscious goes, oh, this is what I'm after. Yeah, search for this. The people that will lead to it, the circumstances, the environment, the things that I need to run into to fulfill this state. Because that's what we're doing all the time anyways, whether we're conscious of it or not. We're always doing that every day of our lives. We go out with a certain state that draws to us the experiences we believe we need at an unconscious level to take to the next level of unfoldment as a being. So if I want to aspire to the best of me, one, I'm going to be clear. Two is I'm going to give my body some feelings, deep feelings of what I want to experience in advance so I know why I'm facing it. Then I'm going to go out. I'm not going to pick up the phone in a state where I'm all depressed and worried about someone saying yes or no. That'd be the worst time to call. I'm going to do it when I'm jacked up, when I'm feeling good, right? When I'm happy, when I'm going, this is so good. The prices are good. Now I can sell the plus. I'm feeling good. When am I going to be more likely to succeed? Obviously there. So now I'm just going to wrap this whole conversation up. When you act from the wish fulfilled, you are at another level. You absolutely are. You're saying to your unconscious and your conscious mind and your environment, this is me. This is what I want. This is what I love. This is who I am. I'm going to live from the place of where I feel the most whole, which is this state. I want more of this. You unconsciously will draw yourself to things that match that state, whether it's the person you said hi to, the right turn you took, and the restaurant you chose to run into so-and-so. That's the magic of life. To me, that's the serendipity that makes life a complete rush. Most people don't live that way. They live a more controlled, contrived. They're trying to wrestle it into existence. And I'm not saying not work hard. I'm saying absolutely go for it. But be very clear what your goal is. Have somewhat of a deadline. Be emotionally connected to it and live inside the feeling of it being real today. That would be it. That makes sense? Does that resonate with anyone, or is that just out there?
No, I mean I have done a vision board. It's started, so I've got some goals on that. You can see this white thing behind me.
Nice.
That's got some stuff on it too. So yeah, it's out there. It's out there. It's just slowly coming together, and we'll get it done by the end of the month.
Doesn't it feel good building it? Doesn't it feel neat, like seeing and your mind coming up with more? Oh, hey, what about this?
Absolutely. I
Sorry.
don't know what this.
I just
There we go.
it was on Dennis's side. So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. It does feel good, and yeah, we'll see. I mean, I've got my own vision board. Dave's going to do his, and then we're going to have one that we have together.
well, that's exciting.
Yeah, yeah. We've just had time now to start them, so we'll
I love that. I love that you're doing one together. You have your own. That's powerful. That's a really good thing. That would be beneficial for everyone in your group and in your business to know you do. You have your own individual dreams, your own, you know, that's beautiful. And then you're both together. These are the ones we cohabitate towards. These are the ones we want to mutually fulfill. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah, because when we started the other business, it was always, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I'm like, but that's not my dream. So why do I want to put that on my vision board? So I said this year we're each going to do individual ones and then a couple ones. So yeah, it'll be fun putting them together.
You just raised another a point on that I think is really important is we I know I do. I can get singular. I mean, when I get focused, I can be pretty singular. And I'm aware of it, so I stop and meditate. I'll go to the beach. I will break the state and go, wait, you got to widen this periphery. It's nice to focus, but you can't be obsessive where you're sucking joy out of what you're doing, you know, and you're maybe isolating one piece of the pie, say in a circle of all the things you could focus on. You're just like, you know, one thing, like career, you know. There's a great story of this guy who did some coaching with someone around. He wanted to hit goals. He was making $500,000 a year, wanted to really slam it. Say, you know, hey, I've got my confidence up. I'm doing good. I want to make $1 million a year. He got working with a guy who was similar skill set to mine, the style of stuff that I teach. He was working with him, had a plan. So this is go, what's your goal? $1 million, worked on it. And met him. He said, well, I'll talk to you in between, of course, but we'll meet in 3 months, chat, 6 months, and then a year. So we'll follow up and just say, I'm going to give you coaching aggressively up to certain 90-day, 180-day, and then you know, do the thing. Well, he did it, came back, and it was just after the 6-month follow-up. It was about 8 months. He came back. Dude, he goes, so what's happening? Are you calling me? He goes, I'm killing it. He's like, I thought it would be the end of the year. He says, I'm at $1.3 million in the 8th month. I'm crushing it. He goes, really great. He said, congratulations. So how's it going in your, you know, your personal life? And he goes, oh, well, you know, me and my wife, we haven't been seeing each other for about a few months, and I haven't seen my kids in a while.
Yeah.
For real, dude? Like, he realized it, man. It taught him a lot about values and hierarchies and doing better coaching, you know, because you can have blinders on and miss. And there's a great saying. It's like people say, there's 2 great sayings in life that I live by. My principles: what you focus on, you get more of. I live by that. Whatever it is, you're going to have more of that. So choose what you focus on. But also, conversely, statement is, what you focus on determines what you miss. Mm-hmm. And that is so profoundly true. So I carry both those with me. So yeah, I know what I'm focused on, I get more of it. But it also is telling me what I'm missing. And I'm missing a lot. So I need to open up to the bigger pie. So, you know, relationship, phone, which I do. You know, get on the phone, I'll phone, you know, family I haven't talked to in a while. So I have an email. So, and I'll get up and I'll schedule time and I'll do it because I need to connect. It's easy to get caught up and go, oh, man, it's like February. That's what'll happen too. It'll be the middle of February and I'll go, oh man, I haven't even talked to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a day timer that I actually color code. So there's a color for work, there's a color for Serbia, there's a color for Nerium, there's a color for personal time. So I try and stick with those.
That's great. Colors. You should share that. I'm going to mention that on our Facebook page, and I'll reference you. See, the little things like that are gold. They're simple. Anyone can do them, right? I've got a kind of a colored calendar in front of me. It's not enough color contrast between them. I wish they were louder. They're too similar. I want them louder so that this day, you know, that they're very obvious to me. I'm kind of looking at them, and you want them. If it's blue, it's blue. Next one's red. It's obvious, right? Simple things, but then you've got your day, and you kind of glance. No, it's chill time. It's meditation time. It's walk time. It's shut the computer time. It's that kind of stuff. That's important because I can speak from a couple of years ago. I was obsessive. I was pretty singular. Be 12 hours and be like, I just lost focus, lost perspective. I really did. I lost perspective of the joy. That's really what damaged it. The joy was really getting diminished because I was so focused on the next thing. And that's one of the things that I want to sort of wrap this call up, and when we can just open, just chat, is when we're doing things, all of us here, we've got goals. And the challenge with goals, and again, why a lot of people don't hit them, is because there's things that happen to our feelings along the way when we don't reach them. And it can leave like a residue of a bad feeling of our self-worth, or maybe my inability to create or achieve the goal. And we can desensitize to the setting of the goal because maybe in the past we've had a pattern of maybe not fulfilling them. And because of that, we diminish the power that we have at our disposal to create. And because maybe in the past something didn't work. It's kind of there. That's why I was stressing, you've got to step inside the wish fulfilled. You've got to know the feeling of what it'll be like to win, to have the win. You need that feeling. And if you can't find it, you need to change state, shut the computer, go drive the Audi, go smell it. I go look at them. I go right up to them and I touch it and I feel the cold metal. I don't care. I'm not attached to it. That's not my nature. But I do it so my brain has an understanding of what I'm after. That's it. I smell the leather. I hear the sound system. That sound system is ridiculous. Well, that gets me going. That gets me engaged. I can feel it. I can imagine driving it. Now, remember, the unconscious mind does not know the difference between a real and imagined event. It has no clue. It assumes the conscious mind has sent it edited information. It doesn't know. That's why it'll do whatever you want. If it's negative, it'll take it. It assumes you've already checked the information and validated it. So if I repeat images in my mind of fear and what's going to happen if I don't, and this doesn't happen, dreams didn't work in the past, why bother? I have no choice but to go, my unconscious can only pull up memories to support those commands. That's all it can do. It has no choice. So it's not its fault. It's ours for poor commands and poor questions. But when we change that program and go, I'm going to design it. I'm going to see in advance as if it's a memory. And this is my favorite thing. I was just coaching someone a couple of days ago. In my golf program, I call it pre-rehearsal. People like to review and they go, I need to rehearse. I'm going to rehearse and get prepared for this interview. I'm going to rehearse and get prepared for whatever it is. They're rehearsing memories and trying to bring that forward of times we succeeded. Valid, because that's the only strategy that we've been taught and that most people know. But our mind is an abstraction machine. It will generate whatever we want, and the unconscious doesn't know the difference between what happened and what you're imagining, as long as it's intense. It just takes it as real. So if I go, oh, that's the car, I'm driving it, and I can smell the leather, my unconscious goes, wow, this is not a Maserati that I'm driving. There's something wrong with the picture. It has to go and organize your experiences to go create the life that you're telling yourself is yours. It has to. It has no alternative. Now, the challenge with that is we don't stay committed to that long enough because we fall out of that state. That's the entire issue. We fall out of the state of the realization of our dream, and we're distant from it. And then we act from a place of maybe disbelief, and that's what we create. We create circumstances that will reflect that. Now, when we get more and more engaged and our vision board's clear and I can feel it and I go out and test drive something, or I'm just using it as an example. I don't care what it is. You will change. And then you'll know what it smells like. You'll wake up in the morning and you don't have to try and do it. So what I call that is pre-rehearsal. I'm not rehearsing. I'm previewing an imagined event. I'm previewing something I want so much and I'm creating it as a memory. I'm making my unconscious feel it's past tense. I've seen it, I've smelt it, I've heard it, I've talked about it. I have conversations in my mind. I literally see people responding to me in a certain way after the attainment of my goal. Literally, I'll have conversations and I'll see them smile. the reaction to me, well, my unconscious is going, dude, this guy's, we got some stuff to do, right? We got some stuff to do. We gotta get his ducks in a row because his environment does not look like that right now. So we need to do some things. And I assure you, when you get more emotionally connected to your multi-sensory goal and you visualize it like that, it's just a matter of time. You may not do it at 2 o'clock on the 29th, but it is just a matter of time. So for me, I'm not attached to a specific time, but I am ballparkish. I like saying, first quarter, I have 3 major accomplishments. You know why I don't put a time late, say March 31st? Because what if I do it by January 20th? So I don't like it. I don't like the resistance that it creates in me. So I just say, here's my 3 core objectives for the first quarter. I'd be stoked if I hit them. Hey, if I hit 2 out of 3, awesome. I'll put, I'll look back at what I could have adjusted. Yeah. But I have my 2018 goal. So I thank you guys for showing up. I was literally, I know this is nothing I need to advertise, but I literally was driving the porcelain bus, if you know what I'm saying, prior to this. But my attitude is, and this is what I said to myself, man, I wish I could just go lay down and go to sleep. And I was laying there and going, no, I don't. I don't feel it good, but you know what? I know when I'm doing these calls, that's what I actually enjoy. Why would I want to deprive myself of the things that I actually want more of? So I sucked it up when I didn't, and then now I actually feel good. I really do. I feel great.
Because it's funny you mention that, because I just started a book and it's called A Year of Yes. Right. So every day I have to say yes to something that scares me or outside of my box or whatever. And it's a book that you read, but then you also get a journal with it and you have to write stuff every day. So that just kind of, reminded me, instead of you saying, no, I'm not doing this, you said yes and you got out. So that's going to be a big, huge journey for me this year.
That's powerful because you're meeting yourself and you're not. Yeah. That's what most people don't like about goals, the commitment to themselves where they can't hide. If I say make an agreement with someone else and I break it for some reason, some people feel less stressed about that. They do. But if I break a goal, how we can break agreements with ourselves, that's the worst. And that's we really hurt ourselves a lot with that strategy, because we said, I'm not going to create 20 goals that I'm not going to do just to make myself feel good and get excited about goals I'm not going to achieve. But I am going to pick 2 or 3 that I say I'm committed to, even if I feel bad from not hitting them. I'm not going to not do them to protect myself.
And you need to review those every 3 months or 6 months. And that's the thing. You need to go back to them and see if you've achieved them, or if you need to push and push it forward another 3 months, see if you can make it. I don't know. There are lots going on this year, so we'll see what happens.
It's exciting. All of us. Linda's focused. She's got plans. She's working down there, meeting really good people. She's coming back to White Rock and she's going to kill it there. And when I get back, we're going to work together, Linda, and all her people, and get Scott Whitney out there and do some, weekend thing, and all of us, right? Yeah. It can be fun, and we can have a really good time. Sorry.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Can you hear me? Yeah. I had a really good call today that I want to share. So Susan hooked me up with her friend Perry, who's just a dynamite singer in LA area. So we had a 3-way call, and he used to be in marketing before he was a singer. And so he's really keen. He's going to bring a big hotel guy on the call in 1 week from today. And I went on to YouTube and I watched all his videos, and he's pretty awesome. Big black guy that's like, he's rhythm and blues. And I started dancing around the house, and it was just so neat because, he was so into it. And then he wrote me back later and said, well, when you're in California, which I plan on being in sometime in April, come and stay with me. Can you believe that?
Wow. That's beautiful.
And so pretty cool. And then I had a lunch today with a gal that does, she teaches computers, and I just met her at the chamber, but I wanted to be her friend more than go. I just wanted to network with this woman because I just thought she was awesome. And then at the end of the conversation, she's saying, well, I know realtors, and I know this, and I know that, and I'm going to give me a bunch of your cards, and I'll just pass them out to my buddies. And she said, well, Tucson's different than Phoenix. Phoenix is a big city and people do things the normal way. In Tucson, it's small. And so people want to do business with people that they've networked and been referred to by friends. And this is how you have to do business in Tucson. So, I mean, I just learned so much from this woman today. It was awesome. And on the fact of asking the universe for things, I do that all the time. And, you know, it's surprising if you really put it out there and really want it. I mean, I've had something, you know, some freaky things happen where I've asked and like in 2 hours later, the phone rings and I got it. It's like, you know, so I believe in that. I totally believe in it.
That's non-resistance because I know your nature, Linda, and I'm learning, you know, more about you, Ann, and I'll have the pleasure of getting closer to all of you, especially when I'm there and we can meet more and stuff. It's when you are open and you remove resistance, to me, that's a big part. You just find the reasons. Why am I robbing myself from my own wonder, my own power? Hold on. Why am I beating myself up? You know, simple things, but they're profound. And just like chill, right? Meditate, just extract, get rid of some stuff. Don't keep adding stuff. Well, I believe that about health too. So that you can open up to the magic that we are. And I'm not easy, I know, because stuff happens. But that doesn't mean you can't put 15 minutes aside. If you can't put 10 minutes aside a day for you, I don't know who you're serving. I don't know what the purpose of that is. Yeah, it just makes no sense to me. How can you say that you're that invalid? Everyone else and everything around me is more important than the person that's going to try and achieve all this. Yeah, I don't even deserve 10 minutes of my time. It just seems crazy.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, no, that's true.
It's profound, but then these little things, man, they shape our lives. So, you know, no, it's going to be fun this year. I really am excited, and it's like, you know, sometimes you go through New Year's. I guess I'll just kind of close with this. People go and they transition from a year to another year, and they have some desires. They look back, and not often, but the odd person will say, 2017 was unbelievable. Generally speaking, people look back and say it was a tougher year. And I'm not saying all. There seems to be an orientation that we have as human beings to notice what wasn't as good as it could have been. Even if, this is what I wanted to mention a while ago, and now I'm glad it's sort of coming back, is the gratitude for when we are achieving something and we have succeeded. So you set goals, all of us here, 2018, first quarter, you absolutely 100% have to celebrate them. If you don't, because we're always, I know I did it, so I was the person who had to teach it to myself, I'd be looking at the next goal. Well, the next one got close. And then I'd get it and immediately get another goal. I mean, that's fine. High achievers and people that create their lives tend to do that. They tend to replace it. So there's no vacuum because they use the momentum. That's why I like the ranks, you guys. I like the ranks as a reason, as a guidepost to push the momentum. And then you naturally, because you're looking for ranks, you create the next rank. It's already there in your mind because you hit the first one. But you have to stop and go. And I don't care if it doesn't matter if it's $20. It's not the money. It's the fact you achieved it. You have to let your brain and your being know that's what I want more of. What I was doing in the past years ago, I would get the goal and I literally wouldn't even recognize it. I would immediately go to the next one. I wouldn't even register. That's sad. It really is sad because that's like saying the very thing you said was so important to you was meaningless when it arrived. Do you follow how absurd that is? We do that as people, and I'm not the only one. I know that for a fact. So I've learned to slow down, have a glass of wine. You're good at that. Then you'll celebrate it. You have, like you have a good call. Just sit down, and have a blast, have a beer or drink a wine. It doesn't matter what it is, but you go, it was good. Kick your feet up and go, that's what I love. I want more of those because those things are the building blocks to the achievement of your goals. They are. It is those little things. So if we don't recognize them, once again, the brain has no idea what's good about any actions you're taking. All it's seeing is you being stressed out and chasing some goal that apparently is meaningless once you get it. It's craziness. It's really craziness. And to me, that's embedded in North American culture. But that's another conversation. But I think we're wise enough here in this call, and hopefully people listening to this got some value. It's 2018. You have to design your life. It's not because a calendar shifted that you should change, but why not use it for leverage mind there's momentum here, and make it matter. Make it matter. Make 2018 matter. You're watching a recording of this. Just write something down. It's not a Serbia. Admit it to yourself. It's okay. I'm not attached to it. You have your goals. You have your dreams. Serbia is a really good one, and it's just going to continue to get better. And those who want to stay on the ride, we're going to have a blast. I know that 2018 is going to be a buzz.